Labor and Liberal are giving $180 billion in tax handouts to wealthy property investors. What that means is a first home buyer turns up to an auction with all their savings and they bid as much as they can. A wealthy property investor who might have 5 homes is next to them. They can just keep bidding the price up and up and up, knowing they've got a big fat cheque from Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton in their pocket to write it off as a tax loss.
Housing has become a rigged game. Investors win, renters lose, and politicians pretend they're fixing it. When will any of you admit the system's broken because you benefit from keeping it that way?
I actually agree with you that the system is broken. We don't have enough housing in Australia to house all of the people that we want to house in an effective way. We've got $43 billion invested. We are spending 20 times more on transitional and emergency housing than the previous government for women and kids escaping domestic violence. 5,100 places there. We're investing in homelessness services. We're investing in social housing, 55,000 new social housing dwellings. We're changing the rules to make renting more secure. We're doing that with the states and territories. We're helping people into first home ownership, 5% deposits, 100,000 homes just for first home buyers, shared equity, and also free TAFE, of course. We're training the people who'll build the homes. It will take time for this problem to be fixed as a nation, but we have to keep doing it because this is a huge intergenerational inequity.
Well, I think there's some problems that have really exacerbated it, including the very high levels of immigration at the moment, 1.2 million people over 5 years. And so that is about over 2 years, I should say, that's about 70% more than we've had over a 2-year period previously. Look, we strongly believe in the importance of housing and giving everybody the opportunity to get into the housing market. That's why we've committed to make it easier for people to draw on their superannuation, up to $50,000 for a deposit. That's on the demand side. Also, the measures we've announced for tax deductibility of your payments on your mortgage, up to $650,000. That's worth about $1,000 in terms of a saving per month. But we also need to address the supply side. That's why on the supply side we've committed a $5 billion fund to provide the enabling infrastructure, because often a council will have land that's available to be released, but there's no money available for things like curbing and guttering or sewerage or connecting roads.
If immigration was driving it, then why didn't house prices fall during COVID when we didn't have people coming into the country? Like, this problem has been going on a lot longer. Back in the 1980s, the average house cost 3 times the average income. Now it's 8 times the average income and rising. Why is that? Well, because in the 1990s, Liberal Prime Minister John Howard decided it would be a great idea to give massive tax handouts to wealthy property investors that is pushing up the price of homes out of reach of first home buyers. And now, as we sit here today, Labor and Liberal are giving $180 billion in tax handouts to wealthy property investors. What that means is a first home buyer turns up to an auction with all their savings and they bid as much as they can. A wealthy property investor who might have 5 homes is next to them. They can just keep bidding the price up and up and up, knowing they've got a big fat cheque from Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton in their pocket to write it off as a tax loss. And it is tilting the playing field against first home buyers, and it means that renters and first home buyers don't stand a chance. We need to wind that back in a way that is fair to the mum and dad investors who might have got one additional property that they're using for their retirement. Like, they're not the ones who are out there trying to screw the system. But if you've already got 5 houses, the federal government should not be giving you a subsidy to go and buy your 6 while people are struggling to get there first. We should be using that money to instead fund things like a cap on rent increases so that there's a bit of breathing space for renters, get government to actually build more homes that people can rent and afford like it used to. And that way we're going to start getting back to the situation where current generations, where Gen Zs and millennials have the same chance of owning a home as previous generations. And that's all we're asking, like basic fairness.